the sound rocking, bringing out the truth. We got the whole world watching. Mason, now we popping. Trying to get the kingdom made. Revolutionary, military, no religion, no everything was speaking all fast, no fish.
It sounds a little soft. Sounds a little soft.
It ain't about the truth.
It sounds good now.
I was looking so trite, pouring out my
It sounds
sisters,
good now.
trying to make them out white. Old school boxes, 24 with the choppers, TVs and the Harris, paint job looking spotless. In the hood with no options, feeling like we boxed in. Mike died at 18. Big Willie caught 10, PD, no car rent, long numbers they dropping, survival of the fittest, everybody trying to get the dough, mama praying hard that them devils don't get the dough, had to ask myself, bro, what you really living for, that's when I found out I was an Israelite, from the tribe of Judah, due to the curses, right, from the big house to big things, U2 street teaching, spread truth to the four corners, 12 tribes getting redeemed, enduring to the end, stay away from secret sins, crazy. So until we meet again, friends up in the border, blue the sound rocking, bringing out the truth. We got the whole world watching. Savage, give me like a lace, and now we popping. Yeah, we trying to get the kingdom made safe. Revolutionary, military, no religion, no everything I'm speaking all fast, no fish. Anything less than all that is for the pigeons. If it ain't about this truth, brother, I'm trying to listen. We count ready, yeah, we lined up like some dominoes. Friends blue like Geronimo. Like a pair of motor bowls. Proverbs 28 and 1, the reason we standing bold. My game face on, looking strong like King Kong. We bringing out the truth, going out like a ringtone. Got everybody tuned in like it's a theme song. And we ain't going back and forth, bro. This ain't ping pong. We going in, cause we ambassadors of Christ. And 10 toes. This how I chose to live my life, and I ain't turning back. Before I do it, man, the fight, major fact. Dark to have the light. Patiently waiting. We're taking the kingdom when Christ return. You better be ready whenever that day be exposed or you'll get burned. That's real talk. And dying seen is not an option. And you wonder why when they see me in person on TV. I'm raised up in the border, blue the sound rocking. Bringing out the truth. We got the whole world watching. Savage, give me like a Mason, now we're trying to get the made safe. Revolutionary, military, no religion, no everything I'm speaking all fast, no fish. Anything less than all that is for the pigeons. If it ain't about this truth, brother, we ain't trying to listen. Organization, nation, it's Killer J, ports of abomination. Mentally destroyed if you support the nomination. We ain't on the same thing. I don't support your conversation. I'm a Jew. Last jewel on this earth. I'm the season, I'm the salt. I'm the thing you wasn't taught by the teacher. Laws wasn't for the heathens. It was for the preachers. 12 gates for the kings. We just trying to get the kingdom. Soldier Isaiah, please speak, brother Yeti. Bridges intact, creased up, we count ready. The Christians beat us down like we do the pot shit. The 12 and the trumpet, we gon' have the next heavy. Precept upon precept, a must. Curses Deuteronomy 28, us. All these fellas, they my brothers' foundation. Good out trust. If I slip up, his head gon' pick me up, so that's a plus. Raised up in the border, blue the sound rocking. Bringing out the truth, we got the whole world watching. Savage, give me like a Mason, now we popping. Yeah, we trying to get the kingdom made safe. Revolutionary, military, no religion, no everything I'm speaking all fast, no fish. Anything less than all that is for the pigeons. If it ain't about this truth, brother, we ain't trying to listen.
Verbo has.
Keep on shining. Take your assignment, perfect alignment. Hold up, leave now. Proud man, sit down, meet me, stand up, sister, stay on, assignment, perfect, alignment, always day, gotta been through worse, used to be nigga till I got that road, me a who I was out there bad, shame on me, let me work it. Life on like big bless, no less. Shivering in brother who guess. Said I had to be a little hater, leave a mess. Out of here doing, I will will no flex. Paid on the line, young fisherman kiss. When I was old, y'all all the one help. Keep things right, little fella, no pressure. Had to learn how to put myself like a test. Something better, didn't do something better. Man, coming, y'all got it. Then I'm on the menu, eat nothing less. Baby did everything fast, so I kept it. Never to the game, but a real good wrestler. Help young people, that's a dog and testing. Picture good fan, got a great process. Be good, spirit good, wish I fix. I grew, make a water brother like hot not the front of the flame that'll melt you. Come for the righteous, but the wicked ain't welcome. Got a couple lemon out of use as a zesty. Too busy working no time. Now, proud man, sit down, big man, stand up. Sister, keep on, assignment, perfect, alignment. Hold up, lean out, press up, keep on shining, perfect, shining, stay.
Shalom. Shalom. All right, bro. I'm finna come in. I'm finna log out of this. And come in. And bro, bring that one in, Hebrew. All right, shalom, family. We having some technical difficulties tonight. I was on the laptop, but the laptop, they saying the laptop choppy. So I'm doing this off my phone tonight. Y'all really gonna have to bear with me tonight. And let me go run and grab this charger real quick, family. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Shabbat Shalom, family. You see how Satan trying to give him away, but he ain't stopping Nathan. This word gonna go out to the four corners of the earth by will of the Most High. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling this Shabbat night? We got our elders down there and got their feet in the sand. Much needed vacation for the elders. I pray they're having a blessed time, enjoying themselves, you know what I mean? Soaking up their vitamin D when they can. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Y'all see the title. This is going to be an excellent lesson. Conflict Resolution Part 2. We're going to talk about it. Yes, sir. I know you feeling right. You misspelling feelings.
Man, my bad, y'all. I'm sorry. My bad. We getting it together, though. All right. hope y'all can hear me. Trying to make it to where y'all can see me, but it ain't acting right. All right.
Shalom at Yahoo.
All right, Shalom family. Boy, I'm trying to get set up over here. Hey, y'all gonna have to bear with us tonight on these technical difficulties. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing this off my iPhone because the laptop I'm on is real choppy, and I ain't gonna let y'all suffer through that tonight. But StreamYard does act up on the phone after a while. So if I drop out, I'm coming right back in. If I drop out, I'm coming right back in. But I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to all the family out here tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's in the chat, that's watching worldwide. You know what I'm saying? I got my Octuva y'all with me. And y'all see what the title is: Conflict Resolution Skills According to the Bible, Part 2. You know what I'm saying? We did Part 1 last Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? It was well received. I was getting calls all week, you know what I'm saying, of brothers and sisters, you know, just, you know, we recognize it, you know what I'm saying, how off we been when it's coming to dealing with our brothers, our sisters, and our spouses, right? You know, because we got a lot of untreated trauma in our community, and we don't have the means to go get therapy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the means to go get the help we need, you know, from dealing with all that we had to deal with. You know, we come from long lines of broken families, broken homes. You know what I'm saying? Of being raised, you know, being, you know, our parents, a lot of the times, they grew up without parents. So, you know, they learned how to be a parent on the fly and still probably learning. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, they carry those toxic traits. You know what I'm saying? They pass them down to their children, and then they grow up and be parents, and you know what I'm saying? And the cycle continues. So it's like we never learn as a people how to communicate with each other. And that's all it really is. And just a quick preview, you know what I'm saying, the Part 1, we started out in Sirach 17. We read about how the Most High gave us laws concerning our neighbor. You know what I'm saying? We learned about we shouldn't view conflict as a me versus you problem, or us versus them, me against the world, us against the world, right? That's off. Conflict, most of the time, it's a difference in ideas, perceptions. It's a difference in how two or more people see a situation. That's usually all it is at the end of the day. We went to that Galatians 5, 14 through 21. We got a few definitions, important definitions. We learned flesh, which was the nature, you know what I'm saying, apart from divine influence that's prone to sin. Right? And then we looked up a few words, seditions. What was a few more words? Seditions. We looked up heresies. We looked up variants. You know what I'm saying? All these different words which had to do with poor conflict resolution skills. All right, and then it says the works of the flesh are manifest or clearly seen, right? All right, and then from there we hit Matthew 18, you know what I'm saying, verse 7, woe to the world because of offenses. He says, and woe unto them by whence the offense comes. So, you know what I'm saying, dealing with each other and being in relationships, conflict is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? That's why he says, woe to the world because of offenses. So don't think you're not going to have conflict if you're dealing with people. But he says, you know what I'm saying, by whoever caused those offenses, woe to him. Woe to him. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget the war in heaven. We went there. And then we went to the life of Adam and Eve, and we showed how Satan has poor conflict resolution skills. He deflects, he projects, he gaslights, he don't take accountability. You know what I'm saying? All these things is what's displayed when it's time to have a sit down and resolve some sort of conflict between brothers and sisters, or husband and wife, or whoever. So if you are constantly displaying these things, then you are of the devil. You wicked. Period. Point blank. Period.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if that's how you been all your life. Who cares? That's not gonna be a good enough excuse for the Most High on Judgment Day when He asks you about that. That's not gonna be a good enough excuse. So why do you think you can just skate through this life saying that and thinking that it's okay? Well, bro, that's just how I am, man. Them niggas just be having me messed up, man. Okay, well, tell that to the Most High and see how far you get. Tell that to the Most High and see how far you get. We read in a few scriptures in Proverbs how sometimes you gotta defer that anger and hold it in until after, till you see what's going on, till you done weighed everything in the balance. We also talked about admonishment before rebuking. We talked about admonishment before rebuking. Also, we went to the Testament of Gad, chapters 2-6. We hit some things there, and then we finished out in Romans chapter 12. All right, so in this part 2, the main objective that we're gonna be focusing on, y'all, is harboring anger and resentment. Right? Because that right there, that's poor conflict resolution skills. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Satan did. We read that in the life of Adam and Eve. Why he said, look, it was because of y'all I fell from my glory, and now I want y'all to fall from y'all's. You know what I'm saying? That's resentment right there. And the best way to describe resentment or define it would be, it's really a combination of a bunch of negative emotions: disgust, anger, you sad, you mad. You know what I'm saying? And where does resentment come from? It comes from letting anger sit and not reconciling. Right? And a lot of times in relationships, somebody will do something, you know what I'm saying, that'll cause the relationship to hit a road bump. And after a certain amount of time, those two people would agree to sit down and work things out. But the person that was harmed in the situation, even after the conversation is over, is still harboring resentment and anger. At that point, you are going off. At that point, you are going off. Even though you were wrong, you are going off at that point. Why? Because both of y'all had agreed to sit down and try to get past it. But a year later, even though they've been putting in the effort to be different, do things different, be more righteous, you still holding the wall up. You still harboring anger and resentment and hatred. You going off. How you doing that? And you agreed to sit down to work things out. And they holding up their end of the bargain. So now, who going off now? So if the relationship don't end up working, yeah, they did what they did, but guess who also had a hand in that and that not working? You did. You did. So there's a responsibility on both parties to you know what I'm saying, to make sure the conflict is resolved. Conflict resolution is a two-way street. All right, so the person that did something wrong, they come to the table, they fess up to it, they own up to it, they put forth the effort, they bring forth the fruits. Now you have the responsibility to move past whatever hurt, whatever anger you got, and get him a fresh shot if that's what y'all have agreed to. It's up to you. It's up to you, and we gonna see how deadly, right, harboring resentment and anger can be. We're gonna get into a few stories tonight. And forgiveness is a part of conflict resolution, right? another way we can look at conflict to help us get past it a lot easier is not me versus you, but us versus the problem. You know what I'm saying? Especially that really helps with marriage, right? Because a lot of times we get to yelling at each other, fussing at each other like it's me versus you. Now it's us versus whatever the problem is. What's the problem? What's the problem? And then another thing, I was talking to my aunt Corey and my sister T, and I brought this up. I said, like, we all been going off when you get through talking. I don't care who you is, we all been going off. I'm gonna tell you why. And this has got something to do with the husband and wives. How many times when after we have an argument, after cooler heads sit down and prevail, we talking it out. How many times is the scripture present? How many times is the scripture present? And you know what? We'll break out the scripture when it's a conflict dealing with a brother and a brother, or a sister quicker than we will with our spouses. When we trying to get down to the bottom of the issue. Like when we, after the argument, after we didn't finish fussing, we sit down, we talking like adults now. How many times do we have the scripts open? So we all been going off. We all been going off. And the first thing that'll come out of our mouth is what? We need to go get counseling. But you know what David said in Psalms 119, we're going to read tonight? He said, look, your commandments, your precepts, your judgments are my counselors. Right? So how do we go to the heathen counseling system before we go to the divine counselors that we've been given for every life situation? Right? So let's get on into this. Let's get on into this. But first, before we get into the scriptures, we got a few articles we want to read, Hebrew. Let's get that deflection article first.
All right. All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
And if you got something, you know what I'm saying, you want to, speak on, Hebrew, go ahead, bro.
All right. Let's roll with it. You pretty much covered it all. Pretty much.
Oh, praise. So we kind of touched on these terms, deflection, projection, and gaslight. But we're gonna read a few articles on what they are. And we're gonna see, some of these things in the characters that we read in these stories tonight. We're gonna see a few of these things. And this is just really the scriptures we gonna go through tonight is not many, but they stories. So we gonna get the gist of everything. It was really, the remaining scriptures that was in part 1. And we just gonna finish it on out. You know what I'm saying? I said, why not make it another class? So let's get it, Hebrew. Now we ain't gonna read, all the articles, whenever you feel like, Hebrew, whatever's sufficient. You know what I'm saying? But basically we just want to get, a definition and maybe a few examples of it.
All right. So family psychological deflection. The source for this is www.learning-mind.com/psychological-deflection. All right. Psychological deflection. Y'all throw a 7 in there if y'all can see the screen clear. Put a 7 in the chat if you can see the screen. All right, I'm gonna go here with it. Psychological deflection is often considered a narcissistic abuse tactic. And we know how toxic narcissists are.
Yes, sir.
So that's a narcissistic abuse tactic.
Yeah.
However, you might be using it too without even knowing.
Uh-oh. Are you deflecting? Go ahead.
Deflection, by definition, is a method of changing the course of an object, an emotion, or thought from its original source.
Oh, hey, what Satan do in the life of Adam and Eve, because it was because of you, oh Adam.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Look, that'll make somebody mad doing an argument. Are you deflecting?
Mm-hmm.
Are you projecting?
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
All right. Psychological deflection is seen as a narcissistic abuse tactic used to control the mind and emotions of others. Nevertheless, psychological deflection is not only a narcissistic tool, but also a coping mechanism strategy. Individuals who use it seek to mask their own impulses by denying their mistakes and projecting them on the people around them. So you make a mistake, you do something, you mess up, and you like, well, it's because of, and don't take ownership or accountability for what you did. Let's find out why psychological deflection occurs. Who's still in here?
My bad, bro.
Are you?
I accidentally hit the leave button. I was trying to hit the chat, see what they were talking about in the chat. Hit the leave button.
All right, you want me to read that again?
Nah, go ahead, finish. I'm pretty sure, man. You know, you was covering it. Go ahead, get into what you was about to get into, Hebrew. Go ahead.
All right. Why psychological deflection occurs? We have a natural tendency to be proud of our achievements and share our positive results with others. But when it comes to failure, we usually attribute it to the external factors, the system, the bank, the teacher, the school, the country, etc.
Man, it's these women, brother. Man, ain't none of these men it's out here, man.
If she ain't had it on, I wouldn't have been looking at her like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, bro, if you hadn't said that like that, bro, I wouldn't even took it that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's deflection, y'all. Well, I wouldn't have done this if you didn't do this back in '96, Willie. You know what I'm saying? That's deflection. That's and look, when you sitting in the hot seat, this is not, the scripture says it's a time and place for everything. So when your rear end is in the hot seat, that is not the time and the place for you to bring up somebody else's shortcomings. Right? Because notice it what they was doing was never a problem until they brought up something that you was doing. Because they pulled you to the side like an adult and say, hey, you going off. But because you not mature enough, you will pull up. Well, what about when you, wait a minute, we talking about you right now.
Right.
That's deflection as well. That's deflection as well. That's wicked. That's what Satan did. That's what Satan did. And the scriptures say plainly, you do what Satan do. If you do what Satan do, you are a son of Satan. Period. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. In addition to all that, it is much easier to make a list of other people's mistakes than to acknowledge our own.
Oh, we just talking about one.
Yep. Well, see, family, a good thing to do, even when you have a repentant mind, is to write down all your faults and go to the Most High and ask for forgiveness of your mistakes or your faults or your shortcomings.
Yeah.
That's how you acknowledge your own mistakes. Write them down. I get mad too quick. I speak too soon. Before I even think out what I need to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And look, when somebody pull you to the side and tell you about yourself, look, that's an opportunity for you to look within and get better.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to look at that. That's what the I telling y'all. Like, your perspective, when you change your perspective on stuff, life will get so much better for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of waking up and, I gotta go to work. Wake up, man. I'm so thankful I got a way to feed my family and provide for my family. All praises to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, I gotta get out work, come home to these whining kids. Man, I'm so thankful the Most High gave me 2 healthy kids to come home to that love to see me walk through the door.
Right.
Like, change your perspective, man. We so animalistic and earthly and low vibrational. Boy, I don't need to start talking like that. I'm starting to sound like red fish, blue fish, knick-knack, paddywhack. Let me change my lingo up, boy.
Yeah, you going off.
Hey, but for real though, we need to change that up. The way we talk about our lives, think about our lives, and we wonder why nothing really positive ever happens to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The scripture says life and death is in the power of the tongue, and whichever one you indulge in, you gonna enjoy the fruit thereof.
Right.
Right. So if you constantly speaking life, you constantly speaking joy and peace and happiness, guess what your reality gonna be? Guess what your consequence for speaking that gonna be? A peaceful consequence. Right? We tend to just focus on the death part. Don't say this, don't say this. Okay, well, look, speak righteousness. Let's focus on the life part.
That's powerful. And look, what let's put that scripturally, right?
Yeah.
In one phrase, you reap what you sow.
Facts.
If you sow righteousness, if you sow joy, if you sow peace, if you sow meekness and humility, guess what you're gonna reap?
Yeah.
If you sow positivity, you're gonna reap positivity.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Like, just try it in your household.
Yep.
You see your wife, hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Man,
you look good today.
Man,
You know?
Personal testimony for the past week or so. That works.
That works. It's the little things, bro. We got to get back to doing the little things. When you see your children, make sure, you know what I'm saying, they hear positive words before they lay their head down. But I pretty girl, lay down. You so pretty. Mm-hmm. Night, beautiful. First thing when they wake up in the morning, good morning, beautiful. You got a son. What's up, young prince? What's up, young king? Young handsome king.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throw them shoulders back, king. You see your wife. Good morning, beautiful. How you doing? You look sexy. Your breath a little, but you still, you still my baby. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to being compassionate towards one another, man. We so cold towards each other. We don't even know how to show the simplest forms of affection in our relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speak life, not death.
Yeah, we sitting up. We come home from work. We sitting over in opposite corners on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all look at each other. It ain't no spark no more. Well, I wonder why. Just lay up under each other sometime. Just TV off, music on. You know what I'm saying? Light some incense, drink some wine, and just talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get back to the basics, y'all, when it comes to loving each other.
Yeah.
Hit a brother or sister up. Man, just talk to them for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It don't take much.
Yeah.
And it don't take much. You hang around these people all the time, so you know their interests. Pick up the phone one day and be like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? You want to go bowling?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is they like to do.
Yeah.
It don't take much. We got to get back to that. That way, when the conflict do come, it's gonna be like nobody never really know it was ever a conflict.
Yeah. And boy, I remember you said that one time in a lesson, like, you know what I'm saying, when the Ruach put on your mind, on your heart, hey, call that brother.
Yeah,
And you don't call that brother, you denying the spirit.
that's a fact.
You know what I mean? So when the Ruach, it don't matter where you at, what you doing. When the Ruach say, hey, call your pops, check on him.
Mm.
Pick up the phone, call your pops, like, hey, pops, I ain't really wanting that. I was just calling to see how you doing. Tell you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm on the road right now here to work. You know, I was just calling to check in, see what was up, how you doing.
Facts.
You know what I mean? The little things.
Yeah.
And I know from experience, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't a big talkative person before I came into this walk. I was like real to myself. You know what I mean? And my family member was like, dang. You know, he don't look, he don't call, talk to me, he don't call, pick on me. You know what I mean? Mama called me like, hey, I just calling to tell you I love you. I don't hear from you. I'm
Yeah.
like, dang. Well, I love my folks, but you know what I mean? How do I show that?
Facts. And look, it's a matter of getting out of you. We not called to be who we are. That's the world. That's one of the biggest misunderstandings that we didn't understood. Be yourself. We not called to be ourselves. We are called to be in the image and likeness of the Son of the Most High. That's who we called to be. So it don't matter if you introverted. I'm introverted. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta teach. I don't like being in front of a camera.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to a point to where now, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger, I didn't like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't no real, I guess, I don't know how to put it. I'm not real touchy, you know what I'm saying, like hugs and all that. I love you, but you know what I'm saying, I put it like this. I'm not real good at expressing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My love. But now as I get older, especially in the relationship with my wife, I like intimacy and not so much more intercourse. You know what I'm saying? Just being around her. You know what I'm saying? Just being with her, going to the grocery store. I'm starting to enjoy things like that more as I get older. I'm starting to enjoy hugs. You know what I'm saying? As I get older.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to see, like, man, what it actually does for my mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting to see, like, we gotta get back to that. And once we get back to that, man, things will go way much more smooth in your household.
The little,
way more positive.
Yeah, the little things.
Facts.
The little things have big effects.
Yup. And we be so caught up on, man, I ain't finna reward nobody for what they supposed to be doing. Look, that's of the world.
That's of the world.
That's of the world. Because look, what we got as husbands and wives to each other, y'all, the world, that's rare.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might wanna, even though she cook you a meal every day, you might want to be like, dang, babe, that was fire. You did something different this time.
Man, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, baby, I appreciate you for working and putting the roof over our heads and doing this and that. He need to hear that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
He need to hear that sometime. Get out of that mindset of not congratulating people for what they supposed to be doing. That ain't, what scripture is that, y'all? We say this stuff all the time, but what scripture is that? What scripture is that?
Look, check this out. If we put that in the case of the Messiah, right? Say the Messiah just spoke to us and was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for doing what you're supposed to do. But Master, you said I was gonna get a reward. Now you only did what you were supposed to do.
Right. Don't sound good at receiving it, do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hey, man, look, if you speak it and you know what I mean, you project that positivity on that person, like, hey, babe, that meal was fire.
That's a fact.
I love that.
That's a fact.
Whatever you did, keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Brothers, we got to get better at this.
But look, check this out. The next meal might be better than that. that little speech right there, just that little motivation right there will motivate somebody to go above and beyond.
Facts, bro. You don't know how you, because look, we didn't hear a lot of this growing up, y'all. A lot of us come from broken homes. Not all of us, but a lot of us do.
Right.
So that's something we didn't get as children, and that's why we scarred. So now it's up to whoever you with. Yes, you have to play daddy to a certain extent. If she didn't have a father instilling those positive thoughts into her, you have to build her up as a father, so to speak, in that aspect. If he didn't have a nurturing mother growing up as a wife, to a certain extent, you have to play mother in that aspect and give that to that man.
Yes, sir.
We have to recognize our traumas in our partners. We have to recognize that. Right? So let's keep, boy. We finna go into a whole nother lesson.
Yeah. Hey, the moral of the story is be a healing for where your partner in your relationship, whether it be friend or your wife or your mother, father, brother, or sister. Be a healing for where your partner is broken.
That's a fact, man. And then look, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move on. It all boils down to this, y'all. What type of energy and vibe do you want in your household and in your day-to-day relationships with your brother and your sister, your husband and wife on the day-to-day? And you know what? That is totally up to you.
Yeah,
just take the initiative. Just even if everything is going right, still throw those positive vibes out and make it go even better.
Yes, sir.
If everything been going smooth, just boom, keep going. Make it even better. Look, y'all have the absolute authority and power to create the vibe that you want in your relationship and household. It's up to y'all. Just take the initiative.
Yeah.
Don't be in the spirit of I'm gonna wait till she do something. No, who gonna take the initiative to be righteous? And who gonna take the initiative to go above and beyond?
Right.
That's what it come down to. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right, I'm gonna start this little paragraph from the top.
Yeah.
All right. It say, in addition, it is much easier to make a list of other people's mistakes than to acknowledge our own.
Thanks.
This is because of our ego or pride develops a self-defense system that prevents us from admitting that we are wrong. That ain't nothing but pride. Thus, it makes us feel less responsible for the consequences of our actions. Consequently, this self-defense system has negative effects on the way we perceive the world we live in, including our own image. We will always believe that the causes of our mistakes will never be related to our behavior or actions. As such, the external environment is the one to blame.
Everything but you. Everybody except me. I is right. Everybody else is wrong, boss.
Boy.
Hey, whenever you want to go to the next one, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, keep reading, whatever you feel is sufficient. If you see some more stuff in there we need to hit, you hit. But if not, we can jump on to the next one. I think we got what deflection is.
Right. I'm gonna read this last paragraph and we can jump on to projection.
All right.
It says we will also overanalyze the situation and the people around us to the point where our mind begins to project our flaws onto our surroundings. You overanalyze the situation, and now your mishaps and your flaws are being projected. You project your shortcomings onto everything around you.
Facts. Well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. Remember the fight, y'all. Whatever happens to us in this life, it's a spiritual fight. We wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Right.
Even though it's flesh and blood people involved, what's behind the flesh and blood people that's making them do the things you see them do? That's what we need to start addressing. That's what we need to start attacking. Well, instead of maybe it's me, well, maybe that was the spirit of anger. You know what I'm saying? Take yourself out of the situation. That's deflection as well.
Yeah.
And that could be detrimental to your self-esteem.
Yeah.
So stop doing that. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Says the most interesting aspect is that under normal circumstances, we do not dislike or see other people's flaws. But when the crisis occurs, when something happens, the same people we once perceived as okay suddenly turn into the source of our misfortune. Ooh, wee. That's major right there. So this your homie or this is your girlfriend, as long as everything is going okay, but y'all have a slight misunderstanding and everything takes a turn for the bad. It's no good. It's no good.
Man. Am I in there twice? Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good. All right, now we're gonna go to projection, family. Let me read this first sentence in this last paragraph again before we go there. It says we will also overanalyze the situation and the people around us to the point where our mind begins to project our flaws onto our surroundings. Now let's go see what projection is and how we often do that. All right. This is y'all can see the link up here, psychologytoday.com. Right. We blow that up so y'all can see. Projection. Projection is the process of displacing one's feelings onto a different person, animal, or object.
Somebody that's insecure. Somebody that's insecure tell you insecure.
Right. Or somebody that's angry will tell you angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You in a good mood and you smiling, and that person come around like, what's wrong with you? Why you so mad?
Yeah, look, we gonna read, we gonna see that clearly in a few of these stories that we read tonight.
Well, I've been guilty of that at times, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Back in my dog days. Back in my yep. We all have been.
All right. It says the term is most commonly used to describe defensive projection, attributing one's own unacceptable urges to another. For example, if someone continuously bullies and ridicules a peer about his insecurities, the bully might be projecting his own struggle with self-esteem onto the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah. The concept emerged from Sigmund Freud.
Freud. Yeah, Freud. He was a heathen.
Yeah, magician. That was the magician, right?
He was I forgot what's the proper term for him.
Yeah. I'll look it up later.
Yeah. And I took psychology. I was supposed to know that. But go ahead.
The concept emerged from Sigmund, his work on defense mechanism, and was further refined by his daughter Anna and other prominent figures in psychology. All right. Now, what is projection? Projection is unconscious discomfort which can lead people to attribute unacceptable feelings or impulses to someone else to avoid confronting them.
Mm.
Projection allows the difficult trait to be addressed without the individual fully recognizing it in themselves.
Mm.
Mm. Mm. An example of projection would be the following: a married man who is attracted to a female coworker, but rather than admit this to himself, he might accuse her of flirting with him.
Mm. Yeah, baby, she was flirting with me today. Yeah, I'm like, girl, get away from me, girl. I'm married. Whole time that's projection. That's a
Yeah.
perfect example, boy. That's the one they got on there.
Oh,
Boy, that's excellent right there.
It says another would be a woman wrestling with the urge to steal, who comes to believe that her neighbors are trying to break into her home. Wow.
Oh, appreciate that, Matt Scott. That's what he was. That's what that heathen was. Thank you. But yeah, that's another good example right there.
Oh, we.
Look, Satan accused Adam of stealing his glory. But that's what Satan was trying to do to us.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Man.
All right. It says why? Why do people project? People tend to project because they have a trait or desire or a lust that is too difficult to acknowledge. Mm.
So look, you might have a disloyal spouse. You know what I'm saying? Or a disloyal woman. You just insecure. You need to cut that out. And she's sleeping with the whole city.
Yeah.
Trying to make you not believe your lying eyes. You just insecure. Cut that out. I can't go to the gym in this, and she got spandex shorts that don't come nowhere near her knees, a crop top with her breast perked up. You insecure. I can't go nowhere. I can't do nothing. What you mean?
Mm. Mm.
That's projection, y'all. That's wicked. That's mind manipulation.
Look, that's literally satanic.
That's satanic. That is very satanic.
Oh, boy, this heavy, boy.
We ready to go to gaslighting, or you see some more in there you want to get?
Nah, y'all, I put the link in there. Y'all go. I'm gonna put this other link in. Y'all go. Look these things up on your own. We finna go to gaslighting. Gaslighting. All right. 7 stages of gaslighting in a relationship. How gaslighters emotionally manipulate, traumatize, and exploit victims. Oh, we. All right. It gave some examples right here. If you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes accepted as truth. If you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes accepted as truth. Genesis 1:29 is is the law, is the dietary law.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, and knick-knack paddywhack. Give a dog a bone.
We children of the sun, S-U-N. I ain't even gonna repeat some of the stuff we heard last night.
Boy, that's old Nick. That's our knick-knack paddywhack.
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah.
Some people try to be tall by cutting off the heads of others. Gaslight. All right. Let me blow this up a little bit. Gaslighting is a form of persistent manipulation and brainwashing that can cause the victim to doubt her or himself and ultimately lose her or his own sense of perception, identity, and self-worth. Wow,
Yeah.
man, bro, Negroes is out here gaslighting.
Yeah, that's verbal abuse. That's a form of abuse. That's a form of abuse. You can damage someone's self-esteem, someone's morale like that.
Wow.
You can discourage someone to stop following the truth with those type of tactics.
Negroes out here gaslighting.
Gaslight. You will bring books that's false and act like they true, and then tell everybody what stood the test of times, the centuries and decades and millenniums is false.
Gaslighting.
That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. Some you can clearly read with your eyes where the Most High said this is good, this is lawful. Somebody come around and say, no, he didn't say that.
Gaslighting.
That's gaslighting. And ain't that that's gaslighting? That's wicked. Them satanic tactics. What scripture is that? That'll set everything up. Okay, what scripture is that?
We already heard brothers say they getting instructions and advice from the Council of Nine, which is the council of the Church of Satan. So yeah, Negroes is out here gassing into satanic manipulation.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
All right.
It says the term is derived from the 1944 film Gaslight, in which a husband tries to convince his wife that she's insane by causing her to question herself and her reality. In its milder forms, gaslighting creates a subtle but inequitable power dynamic in a relationship, with the gaslightee subjected to the gaslighter's unreasonable rather than fact-based scrutiny, judgment, or microaggression. At its worst, pathological gaslighting constitutes a severe form of mind control and psychological abuse.
Yeah, that's why you got to make sure you before you hop into these little relationships. You know what I'm saying? That younger generation, they like to hop in and out of relationships and be hopping in here with gaslighters, people who like to project, people who like to manipulate people, and they ain't even self-aware themselves. If you self-aware, how can somebody gaslight you? How can somebody trick you into believing the false reality? If you self-aware. We got to do self-work before we get into any other type of relationship first. Become self-aware. Nobody can tell you that you ugly, that you fat if you've already accepted your flaws and start working on them. No, nobody can gaslight you with those. Become self-aware. That's how you protect yourself against that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
All right, it says gaslighting can occur in personal relationships, at the workplace, or over an entire society. All right, now let's get some examples of gaslighting. Well, this is the first stage right here of gaslighting. To lie and exaggerate.
Yeah.
That's the first stage. And the Most High hates liars. No liar shall enter into the kingdom of God. All right. Lie and exaggerate. It says the gaslighter creates a negative narrative about the gaslightee. There is something wrong and inadequate about you, based on generalized false presumptions, and accusations rather than objective, independently verifiable facts, thereby putting the gaslightee on the defensive. My wife, my wife is a pathetic loser, and she needs to know the truth. Hmm.
Mm.
The work, the work your department does is a waste of time and resources. Wow, wow. My supervisor be gaslighting.
Mm. Wow.
He be gaslighting.
Look, ain't none of that true. If you say any of that to your brother, your sister, or your wife, or your husband, ain't none of that true.
Right.
How could you tell your wife she's useless? She's your helpmeet, Negro.
Mm.
Okay. How can you tell your husband he's useless?
Right.
He's your head.
Mm.
Right? Let that man take off work a number of days and he don't tell you about it. Let that man sit at the house all day. Let that man stop paying the bill. Let that man stop keeping the order in the household. Let that man let the children run wild, fighting each other, hollering all day. And see, let's see if your tune change. I bet you it will.
Mm.
I bet you it will. You will see just how quick you need your husband. You need your head. Go ahead, Hebrew. We bet not be talking to each other like this.
No. All right. Stage 2, repetition. Like psychological warfare, the falsehoods are repeated constantly in order to stay on the offensive, control the conversation, and dominate the relationship. That's why I can't get into no debate,
Mm. Mm.
especially with no gaslighting.
Facts. Escalates when challenged.
Yeah. Stage 3. The Brew just read it. Escalate when challenged. When called on their lies, the gaslighter escalates the dispute by doubling and tripling down on their attacks.
Which one of you clowns want to debate? You goofies!
You're crying. You're wolf or crying wolf.
You know what I'm saying? Any one of you lames. Woo! All the while looking like a clown, a goofy, and a lame.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. But go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. The gaslighter escalates the dispute by doubling and tripling down on their attacks, refuting substantive evidence with denial, refuting substantive evidence with denial. Bruh. Bruh. Man, is this eerily accurate.
Boy, it's scary, ain't it?
Like, dang, I just saw this last week.
It's scary.
Wow.
It's scary.
Refuting substantive evidence with denial, blame, and more false claims for misdirection, sowing doubt and confusion. Negroes confusing you and making you doubt the very thing that will give you.
Ooh-wee. The nation of Israel has been gaslighted. That old gaslight doctrine. That's what we gonna call it from here on out. The gaslight doctrine.
Poor. Oh wait.
Gaslight, gaslight.
Bro, you gonna have me writing the song tonight. I forgot, man. I forgot I can't do that.
Oh, boy, don't he bring that up.
Forgot I can't do that. It's
Hey,
crazy.
gaslight. Y'all better not be out here.
Yes,
Gaslight.
yeah.
All right, let's get it, Hebrew.
All right, stage 4. Stage 4 is to wear out the victim. By staying on the offensive, making video after video every day, even at noonday.
Boy, 30-part series.
Come on, man.
Boy.
By staying on the offensive, the gaslighter eventually wears down their victim, who becomes discouraged, resigned, pessimistic, fearful, debilitated, and self-doubting. The victim begins to question her or his own perception, identity, and reality. Negroes calling themselves Hebrew Africans.
Right. And so look, that's Satan, right? That's Satan. He gaslighted Eve in the garden.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody trying to get you to doubt what you're reading in the book, they gaslighting you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right, stage 5. Form codependent relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The Oxford Dictionary defines codependency as excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner. In a gaslighting relationship, the gaslighter elicits constant insecurity and anxiety in the gaslightee, thereby pulling the gaslightee by the strings. Knowing you don't want to be with that person, but you string them along.
Facts.
All the while you bringing them down, and you know what I mean, doing things to show that you don't want to be with them, but then you be like, I love you.
Yeah. Hey, when you get down to the last 2, just read what's in bold so we can go and jump into these scripts, Hebrew.
All right.
And then, you know what I'm saying, the people can read the rest of that article on their own.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know if I put that one in. Let me go ahead and copy. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to that. All right. Number 6, stage 6 gives false hope. Gives false hope. Stage 7 is to dominate and control. That's the 7 stages of gaslighting.
All right. So now we got a good base on what those terms mean. You know what I'm saying? For if you want to see, you know what I'm saying, how we touched on those, go to part 1. Of course, we gonna see a little bit of here in part 2, y'all, which we ain't got a lot of scriptures. It's more so the stories. We gonna really get in depth in the stories, but we gonna hit a few scripts first. So first, let's go to 1 Corinthians 14. We're gonna read one verse, Hebrew.
All right.
1 Corinthians 14, we're gonna read verse 20. I keep.
Let's get it. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 20.
Yes,
Brethren, be not children in understanding.
Brethren, be not children in understanding, right? So we understand now how we supposed to be handling conflict, trying to resolve conflict by abiding by the laws concerning our neighbor, going to him first, debating our cause with our neighbor first and him alone first, not revealing the secret to our neighbor, and admonishing before rebuke. You know what I'm saying? Doing those things. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right, howbeit, in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men.
You see that? He said, but in malice be ye children. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, let's take 2 children who fight. And guess what? They fighting 1 minute, and the next minute you tell them to stop, and they right back playing like it never happened. They don't even bring it up. Even if you look at a child and a parent relationship, you tap their little butt because they got unruly. Guess what? They come climb right up on you and lay on you. They not holding no grudge. Guess who the one sitting there still irritated? They grown up.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? He said, so we need to take that and be like that in malice. When malice comes, we need to be his children, just like that. All right, let's go to the next spot.
Yeah, that's why. Look, that's why the Messiah said, "Unless you become as a little child, you shall in no wise enter into the kingdom."
That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's go to the next spot. Ephesians chapter 4, 23, verse 27, Hebrew.
23 through 27.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23, family. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Jump up 22.
All right. I'm going to start at 20.
All right.
All right. It says, verse 20. It says, but ye have not so learned Christ, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Jesus, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
I see that old man. It said he corrupt, right? Nothing corrupt gets into the kingdom of heaven. So the old man, the old way we used to handle conflicts, shoot it out, fight it out, scrap it out, yell it out. You know what I'm saying? Hit below the belt, cuss the other person out, ignore the other person. You know what I'm saying? That's corrupt. That's not getting into the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
All right, verse 24.
Yeah.
And that ye put on the new man, which after Yah is created in righteousness and true holiness.
You see that? The new man is created after Yah, not after you, who you are. See, we're not called to be who we are. Right? We called to put on this new man who is after Yah, after righteousness and true holiness. Go ahead.
All right. Verse 25.
Yeah.
Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor.
You see that? Speak every man truth with his neighbor. Hey, bro, that hurt me. I had to pull you to the side and tell you that. Hey, sis, that hurt me. I had to pull you to the side and tell you that. What's wrong? We have a straight frown on our face. Nothing. Ain't nothing wrong. It said, look, stop lying one to another. You lying. The scripture say if you got out, which we can see it on your face, you supposed to say something.
Facts.
That's how you deal with the situation. The Most High is not honoring that. You got your mouth poked out, and the reason they asking you, obviously they want to get down to the bottom of why you mad. But instead, guess what you say? Nothing.
No.
You going off. What scripture is that? Where in the instructions concerning our neighbor do it say to handle a situation like that? Go ahead.
All right. For we are members one of another.
Yeah.
Verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
See that? Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Why? Because if you hold that anger, it's going to turn into sin. It's going to turn into resentment. And we going to see that could be deadly. We're going to see. Go ahead, Hebrew.
I need to give place to the devil.
All right. So if you hold on to that anger, then you giving place to the devil. You done made the table and pulled his chair out for him and told him to come sit down. By you harboring resentment and anger. That's terrible conflict resolution skills, y'all. Like I said, even after y'all have agreed to work things out and sit down and talk, even after that, you don't even give that person the first shot to correct their mistake. So why did you even sit down and agree to work things out? What was the point of that conversation? you are officially responsible for why the relationship is not working at this point. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. If they bringing forth fruit of repentance and you still over here harboring anger and resentment, guess who now is at fault? I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because you feel like you justified because you've been hurt. But nah, if y'all didn't sat down and agreed to go forward and work things out, then guess what you got to do? You got to practice some forgiveness, true forgiveness. I ain't mad no more. Yeah, you might not be mad enough for me to see it on your face.
Right.
That's all that is. Go ahead,
that's it for that, but I want to read this verse 29.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. It says, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace to the hearer.
Read through 31.
All right. And
no, 32.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Yah.
Yeah.
Whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Yeah.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking.
See that bitterness, that's resentment. When you look up the word bitterness in the Merriam-Webster's, guess what's gonna pop up? Resentment. That's anger that's been harbored over a period of time that hasn't been let go. Go ahead, Hebrew.
And evil speaking. Be put away from you with all malice.
Yeah.
And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Yah, for Hamashiach's sake, hath forgiven you.
Khan. Let's go look at another aspect of conflict resolution when resolving conflict. Taking advice. What kind of advice is you supposed to be taking? Let's go to Psalms 1. Read verse 1.
All right.
Cause a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we got people who we like to go to, to take advice. But the scriptures also give us rules and guidelines according to that. Because you can be taking advice for somebody that don't want to see you succeed, or they got an ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying? I see a mistake a lot of the young people make in their relationships. They bring all their friends into their business, and then they get advice from the woman who can't never keep no man, or the dude, he getting relationship advice for the dude who can't commit to no woman,
or secretly want his.
Yeah, or secretly want his. So yeah, he gonna give you some messed up advice, man. You need to get rid of her, man. Yeah, so you look, the scripture school us on that too. Right, and we as Assembly Order Melchizedek, we should know this one. We read this one all the time. We open up with this one a lot.
Yeah.
Psalms 1 and verse 1, Hebrew. Just read verse 1.
All right, Psalm 1:1. Bless, Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. That
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Why? How are you in the truth going to get relationship advice from people out of the world? Why you getting relationship advice from your single homegirls in the world? Getting pumped and dumped out there. Why you taking relationship advice from those type of women? And you married. Why are you taking relationship advice from men who still bed hopping and catching STDs and don't even know they got it until they go to the bathroom? Who ain't been checked, who ain't went to the doctor in 10 years. you know what I mean, who got 5 baby mamas, don't take care of none of the children. Why are you taking advice from them to you children out there? Why are you taking advice to your friends that's in the world? That's talking bad to their mama. They refer to their daddy as, oh, my sperm donor. Why you going to them with your problems? You not blessed doing that. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Nor standing in the way of sinners, nor sitting in the seat of the scornful.
Let's go to Sirach chapter 37.
Ooh, we heating up.
Let's go to Sirach 37.
You know, this is one of my favorite books here.
Yes, sir. Sirach 37. We're gonna do 1 through 9. Then we gonna do. Let's just do 1 through 16.
Hey, I treated this chapter like a coloring book.
For real. Hey, this is heavy. This heavy talk right here.
Yeah, boy.
Heavy talk. Let's get it.
All right. Sirach 37, verse 1. Every friend says, I'm his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name.
All right, so this is why we need to watch our advice. Who we taking advice from? Because everybody that say they your friend ain't your friend. I know that I hate to sound cliche, but that's true. Everybody that say they your friend ain't your friend. They only a friend in name. Go ahead.
I got a quick precept.
Go ahead.
All right. It says, I'm at Sirach chapter 6, verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Yeah.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
That was verse 8?
Yeah, Sirach 6 and 8.
Sirach 6 and 8. Okay, yeah. It's a verse in there I was looking for about a counselor. But we'll run into it.
All right.
Let's get back to the Sirach 37.
Yeah. All right.
You was through with that, Hebrew?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Verse 2.
All right.
Is it not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy?
Yes, it is.
O wicked imagination, whence came thou in to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him.
Yeah. So yeah, don't be fooled. You know what I'm saying? Because they there every time it's time to celebrate. Every time it's time to feast it up. You know what I'm saying? But the first time some conflict come, you like, dang, did I even know, dude? You know what I'm saying? People are straight up handle the situation like y'all was enemies. They don't even reach out to, you know what I'm saying, see what was going on with the situation. That ain't no friend. Go ahead.
All right. Verse 5, it says, there is a companion which helpeth his friend for his belly and taketh up the buckler against the enemy.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches.
Yeah, so if you run into, you know what I'm saying, little money, you know, and because look, you gonna get a whole new group. You gonna get a new social group once that money come in. Right? But don't forget the ones that was with you when you didn't have it, that accepted you for who you was when you ain't had nothing.
Hey.
That didn't want you for that for what you had.
Hey, another precept.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
Back in this Sirach 6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read 14 and 16. All right. It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 16, a faithful friend is the medicine of life,
Facts.
and they that fear the Most High shall find him.
Yeah. Hey, we finna get to that verse 7 down there in that Sirach 37. Key. We finna get to that. We gonna touch on it. We going through verse 16.
That's powerful. All right, back in Sirach 37, we hit verse 7. All right, it says, every counselor extolleth counsel.
Right. So why would you be taking advice from somebody who don't extol counsel? Right? These people nowadays, who these relationship gurus and all this, they not on no scripture. They not on no divine instructions.
So hold on. They don't even believe it.
Nah, they don't. Go ahead, Hebrew. So you need to be taking counsel from somebody who extols counsel, and counsel is in the scriptures. This is our wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. This is how we know how, and this is how we know how to apply what we know how. Right? Go ahead.
All right, verse 8. Beware of a counselor and know before what need he hath.
So he's saying, look, know his intentions before, you know what I'm saying, they give you advice. Find out their intentions. Okay, why would they be telling me to do this? Think about all that. All right, go ahead.
For he will counsel himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good. And afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee.
Yeah, man, just go on, leave her, man. I don't think she ain't ready, man. She ain't ready for you, man. You just on a whole nother level, Aki. I don't think she ready for you. Then you look up 3 months later, she pregnant by him, by the dude that told him that. You see, he told you to do something and stood on the other side to see if you was gonna listen. It's people out here like that. So watch who you taking advice from. Right? Go ahead.
All right. Verse 10. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee.
So don't consult with somebody who's suspect of thee or suspicious of you. You know what I'm saying? Why would you come around and ask them what they think? They don't trust you.
Right.
Go ahead. Don't go where you ain't wanted.
Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Neither a coward in the matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work, nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. But be continually with a godly man.
Be continually with who?
A godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High.
Facts. This who you need to get your counsel from. Right? And look, who more sure do you know who kept the commandments than Moses, than Isaiah, Jeremiah, David, Solomon, John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, James, Jude, John the Revelator, These your first counselors, Yahweh Shai.
Mm. Mm.
These your first counselors. Then you move to this earthly realm.
Right.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
Y'all forgive me, I had some food stuck in my teeth.
I thought you were still over there, boy, getting busy.
All right. But be continually with a godly man whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of Yah, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. Ooh,
Mm.
what a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You got somebody to mourn with you while you mourn.
Facts.
You also, on the flip side, got somebody to be joyous with you when you're joyful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. And go to war with you when it's time to.
Facts. All right, verse 13.
Yeah.
And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. Mm.
Mm.
For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen
Yeah.
sit above in an high tower.
Yeah. So in some situations, like you can see clearly what's going on in your mind, or your spirit will be telling you what you're supposed to do.
Facts.
Right? So sometimes your own mind know exactly what's going on.
Mm.
Right? Go ahead.
And above verse 15, and above all this,
All right. He said, so above all this, above the fact sometimes that your mind know, you know what I'm saying, what be going on. And above all this, are you having somebody who you know to keep the commandments to give you advice. He said, above all this, do what?
pray to the Most High that He will direct thy way in truth.
That's right. So whenever you in a conflict and you trying to resolve it, and you getting advice, all right, you can analyze the situation with your own eyes, see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Run everything that's in your mind past the scripts, and then you know what I'm saying. Get with your elder or get with your brother or sister who you go to for advice. See what they got to say. Weigh what they got to say against the scripts, and then after you do that, you put everything before the Most High. All right, Most High. Now, what is your will?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you come to your decision.
And look, they say, look, He will direct thy way in truth. What is truth?
The Torah.
John 14:6. Like brother said, the Torah. Messiah is the way, the truth, and the life.
Facts.
The law is truth. The commandments of the Most High is truth. Straight narrow path, fam.
Yes, sir.
All right, verse 16. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every
And counsel before every action, man. Think about what you're doing before you pop off. Before you just be impulsive in your speech and in your action.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let reason go before every enterprise. Psalms 119, verse 24.
All right. Then what's that? That third? Is that the third Maccabees that talk about their reason?
Yeah. Yep. That's third Maccabees. Psalms 119, verse 24.
All right. Let me get that. Psalm 115. Said 124.
Verse 24.
Psalm 119, verse 24. All right. Excuse me. It says, thy testimonies also are my delight and my counselors.
All right, so we went a few weeks when we did the defense mechanism series. We went over what the testimonies was, and those was more so the spiritual things that the law was showing you.
Mm.
Right? So he's saying by those witnesses or those testimonies, he said those are my counselors. Where do we find those at? In the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So we can be counseled by the things that we read in the scriptures, in the Torah. Wow. All right, let's go to Sirach 12 and 8. Sirach 12 and 8. Sirach 12 and verse 8.
All right, Sirach chapter 12, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
A friend cannot be known in prosperity.
You see that? How you know who all your friends if they ain't never been in the rut with you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If it's always just, good times and you don't know if they really your friend or not.
Mm.
Everybody love a good time. You know what I mean? So that don't mean nothing because they always there with you when the bottles popping and the wine getting pulled up and the lamb getting roasted. That don't mean nothing.
Mm.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. It says, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
Yeah. So when conflict arises,
you
know what I'm saying? People start picking sides.
Or when you start going through some, those that claim they was with you turn against
you. Yeah. An enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. So just wait till a little conflict or adversity come. You will see who was calling themselves friends, who was really an enemy. You will see. You will see. We're going to see it tonight in two stories we're going to read. Let's go to Sirach 22. Read a few verses here.
All right.
Pick it up at verse 20. Read 20 through 25, Hebrew. Read 20 through 25.
All right. It says, whoso casteth a stone at the birth freeth them away. And he that upbraideth his friend breaketh friendship.
Yeah, you came, when you look up upbraided, that's like a tongue lashing. Like you didn't even come and see if it was true or not. You just came right in and just, start cussing people out. That's terrible conflict resolution skills, y'all. There's something else we ought not to be doing. The scripture says, search the matter out first.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Verse 21. Though thou drewest a sword at thy friend, yet despair not, for there may be a returning to favor.
You see that? So when you came and just upbraided and just went off before you got the facts, you know what I'm saying? That was like drawing a sword out. You might as well put a pistol to your brother's face. He said, despair not though, for there may be a return in the favor. Go ahead.
If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be a reconciliation. Except for upbraiding or pride or disclosing of secrets or a treacherous wound, for these things every friend will depart.
He said every friend would depart. Go ahead.
Be faithful to thy neighbor in his poverty. Be faithful to thy neighbor in his poverty, that thou mayest rejoice in his prosperity. Abide steadfast unto him in the time of his trouble, that thou mayest be heir with him in his heritage. For a mean estate is not always to be contemned, nor the rich that is foolish to be had in admiration.
Verse 24, Hebrew.
As the vapor and smoke of a furnace goeth before the fire, so reviling before blood.
You see that? So reviling before blood. He said, just like vapor and smoke of a furnace go before you see the fire, and wherever you see constant reviling, the back and forth, look, that's eventually going to lead to bloodshed.
Right.
Harboring anger and resentment. So let's get into one of these stories tonight. Let's go to Numbers chapter 16.
You want that verse 25?
Go ahead. You can read it, Hebrew.
All right, verse 25 in this Sirach. It says, I will not be ashamed to defend a friend, neither will I hide myself from him. Yeah, that's a boy. That's a rock, boy. He different.
Man, he be cutting. He be saying exactly what need to be said, boy.
And you can't misinterpret it.
Nah, you can't. You can't.
All right, where we at?
We in number 16. Let's look at the rebellion of Dathan and Korah. Let's look at the rebellion of Dathan and Korah. And then after this, we gonna look at the feud between Absalom and David. We're gonna look at that. And we can learn a lot of stuff from this story right there when it comes to conflict resolution.
Yeah. And look, and another thing, study the conflict between Joseph and his brothers that sold him in the slavery.
Yeah.
It was all up to the book of Jasher, the testament of Joseph.
Yeah.
The testament of Benjamin.
Facts. The testament of Simeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Simeon was hurt.
Yeah, he was.
All right. What we picking up at verse 1?
Verse 1, Hebrew. Let's get it.
All right. Number 16, verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Ishar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, the son and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and one on the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
Right.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Most High is among them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of God.
Now, see, isn't this projection?
Mm-hmm.
Because look, now they seeking out of office, and they accusing Moses and Aaron of making themselves above the congregation. But this is what you Negroes really want.
Yeah.
And how is this terrible conflict resolution skills? Because what? They chose to entertain the audience instead of pulling Moses and Aaron to the side. So they not following the rules.
Facts.
You can't play the game if you're not going to follow the rules. You disqualified.
250 men.
Yeah, and you did it in front of all the men of renown of the congregation. You wanted the audience. And you project. Are you projecting? Go ahead.
All right. Says verse 3. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face.
You see that? Moses fell upon his face and gave it to the Most High. He was self-aware. Now, these Negroes ain't finna make me feel, you know what I'm saying, like I'm putting myself above the congregation. I'm finna drop down and get to the Most High. Go ahead, Hebrew.
And peep how meek that is. Peep how humbling that is for Moses. You know what I mean? And to read that and understand it, like he was so meek. He could have been like, yeah, I am above the congregation. And what? I was chosen by the Most High. He put me in this position. He could have boasted. He could have got bold and bow-legged in the shoulders. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
I can call down fire if I want to. You seen me split the Red Sea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he said, nah. Abba. You hear this? You know what I mean? He fell flat on his face.
Yeah.
Pray to the Most High. Now let's see what happens. All right. Verse 5. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Most High will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Most High tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Most High doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the children of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Most High and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them.
All right, so this is another reason why conflict may arise in the congregation. Negroes not happy with their position. You know what I'm saying? But the way to go about it is not how Dathan and Korah went about it. You know what I'm saying? You try to show up the leaders in front of everybody in the congregation.
The ear want to be an eyeball.
Yeah. You want to be the eyeball. But you couldn't see even if I told you to. And you know the unique thing about being in the body of the Messiah, Tuvaya, you can't do what I do, but guess what? I can't do what you do. Right. That's the beautiful thing about it.
But look, both of what we do is really important.
Yeah. And it works for the betterment of the whole body.
Facts.
That's the beautiful thing about it. So you should never be looking at it like, I can't do what he do. And guess what? He can't do what you do. And guess what? If both of y'all put what y'all do together, it's somehow always meshes.
Facts. Facts.
Go ahead, Aki.
All right, verse 10. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also? For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Most High. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come up. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that flows with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself to altogether a prince over us?
You see how they put murder on Moses?
Negroes want to go back into Egypt.
Yeah. And projecting murder onto the brother. Which they the ones with the murderous intentions. Because why you rising up?
Right.
It's projection. Are you projecting, Korah?
Yes, he is.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Verse 13. Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that flows with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth and said unto the Most High, Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them.
You see that Moses was self-aware. So the projection and the gaslighting didn't work on him. You see that he like, man, Most High, I ain't done nothing wrong to these people. Moses didn't have the mindset, well, Lord, maybe I was too hard on them, Lord. Maybe I was too, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I wasn't lenient enough, Most High. Now Moses like, man, you know what? They done pissed me off. I ain't did nothing to these Negroes.
Right.
See? Hey, again, this is what we see in the part 1. They really angry with Moses and Aaron without a cause. That's that murderous intent again. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even have a legitimate cause to be causing all this uproar and ruckus. Then he say you in danger of the judgment if you act like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is again, being angry with your brother without a cause.
Yeah. You a murderer. Yep. No murderer have any part in the kingdom of heaven.
Facts. Well, I didn't kill him. Well, Yahweh shall let you know how how he broke down the law of murder. He said that's what starts it.
Yep.
That's what starts it.
Got hate in
Being
your
angry with your brother without a cause, to me, that's murder. That's what Yahweh Shah said.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we.
Mm.
All right, verse 16. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou in all thy company before the Most High, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Most High every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer.
Mm.
And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Most High appeared unto all the congregation. The glory of the Most High.
Mm.
And Negro will be like, oh, we don't read about the Messiah in the Old Testament.
Who is that?
Who is the glory of the Most High?
Facts.
All right. Verse 20. And the Most High spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment.
Ooh, we. Most High, he said, boy, look, y'all get to work now. I'm about to kill all these Negroes. I'm about to kill all of them. Go ahead.
Look, he said, I killed the whole world. I killed the whole earth and saved 8. 250 ain't nothing.
Boy. Man.
Mo, still back. Y'all still back.
And look at this. Before we read this verse 22, because we read in verse 15, it said Moses was wroth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we read in Ephesians earlier, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So even though Moses got mad, we finna read right here, he still didn't take it personal, because look what he did in this verse 22.
And they fell upon their faces and said, oh Yah, the Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?
You see that? Moses and Aaron, they ain't take it personal. They could have said, yeah, get them niggas. They could have said that. If they had took it personal. They could have took on a us versus them mindset. Yeah, get them clowns, get them goofies. They ain't take it personal. They petitioned the heavens for them.
Praying.
But they didn't excuse the ones who was really at fault. Notice that too.
And look, check out what they doing. They praying for something that didn't for people that didn't blaspheme the Most High.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yep. Good catch right there, Aki.
So never stop praying, family. Never stop praying for your people.
Facts.
You never know when you can turn away to the prayer to the Most High. You know what I mean? Moses did in Exodus 32. They blasphemed him coming straight out of Egypt.
Yep, Phineas did too.
Yeah. Boy got an everlasting priesthood.
Facts. And who knows, for brothers standing up bold in this hour, you know what I mean? We might pull a couple of brothers out the fire.
Most High will.
Most High will.
All right, verse 23. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses arose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins.
Yeah. So, hey, you had some people over there. You had some people over there like, well, I don't agree with everything Dathan and Corey saying, but they got a few good points, But
Yeah.
let's see if those people were spurred.
Like I said, I'm about 80-20. I ain't all the way there yet. All right.
Hey, Tubaya, let's see if those people were spurred. Let's see if the Messiah considered that. He was like, oh, okay, well, I ain't all the way in, so I'm gonna spur them. Let's see if that was his mindset.
All right, Bert.
Look, like he got a judgment for the undecided. Like he's just gonna leave the undecided alone till they make their mind up. Nah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you swing in the middle till you make your mind up.
Right.
When you're ready, I'll come back for you.
Just let me know when you're done.
All right. All right. Verse 27.
Yeah.
So they got up from the tabernacle of Corey, Dathan, and Abiram on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Most High hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own hand. He let them know, Negro, you done blaspheme.
Yeah.
You done blaspheme. Verse 29. If these men die the common death of all men, if they die natural death, or if they die by war, right? If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Most High have not sent me. But if the Most High make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Most High. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, soon as look, he typed it out, period. Period. Woo!
Boy, soon as he closed his lips, soon as his lips touched back together.
Come on, man. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground closed asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up. And their houses and all the men that appertain unto Korah and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also.
Look, we ain't got no sense. Now you running on the earth like you gonna run from. Look, the Most High can just open it up where you running on and swallow you up.
Look, these the fence straddles.
Yeah, look, these they got a few good points. See,
and all right,
yeah,
80-20. All right,
I hear you.
Let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, instant sinkhole.
Verse. Now they run. Right? They think they done got away from the sinkhole, right? Verse 35. And there came out a fire from the Most High and consumed the 250 men that offered incense.
Well, they got a few good points. I don't agree with everything they saying, but Dathan and Corey, they're still some good brothers. Okay, that's how you feel?
All right.
That's how, okay. See, hey, that ain't the way to handle conflict. You see what happened to them. That ain't the way to handle conflict amongst the congregation of your people.
Facts.
you know what I'm saying, calling for an audience and all that. Now the scriptures say go to your brother first. That's what Nathan the Core was supposed to have done.
And look, and they took these censors like, yeah, we gonna find out. Yeah, the Most High done chose up.
Facts.
Prideful.
Facts.
Scripture pride goes before the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Their pride got them destroyed. Them and everybody was with them.
Man, look, and they were projecting, boy, gaslighting, all that. Let's go to the last story. We're gonna read a few chapters on this though. So you know, let's start this off in 2 Samuel chapter 13, Hebrew.
All right.
Let's start this off in 2 Samuel chapter 13. And you know what I find funny, Aki? Was David said how beautiful it is for brothers to dwell in unity, right? But then he had all this drama going on in his household with his son. So for those who I'm gonna get those who ain't real familiar a little backstory. All right, so you had in the previous chapter Amnon and Tamar, which was brother and sister. He raped Tamar. All right, so Absalom finds out about it, and Absalom kills Amnon. All right, so now we gonna pick it up where Absalom flees right after he kills Amnon. That's what we gonna pick it up, and we gonna read this to 2 Samuel chapter 19.
All right.
This gonna finish out the conflict resolution series. All right, so we in 2 Samuel chapter 13. Hebrew, pick it up in verse 34. Read 34 through 39.
All right. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lift up his eyes and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said unto the king, behold, the king's sons come. As thy servant said, so it is. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of speaking, that behold, the king's sons came and lift up their voice and wept. And the king also and all his servants wept very sore.
Right.
But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur, and David mourned for his son every day.
All right. So his mother's brother was the king of Geshur. If you read 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 3, and that's probably why he fled there. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years.
All right, so 3 years then went by, and it's this strange relationship that's going on with Absalom and of course his father. So Absalom then killed his brother for raping his sister. So you can imagine what type of damage this did to their relationship. Right? So he fled and was in Geshur for 3 years, y'all. Go ahead.
All right. And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead.
All right, go ahead.
Chapter 14.
Uh-huh.
Now Joab, the son of Zeruiah, perceived that the king's heart was toward Absalom. And Joab sent to Tekoa and thence a wise woman and said unto her, I pray thee, feign thyself to be a mourner, and put on now mourning apparel, and anoint not thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had a long time mourned for the dead.
All right, so now Joab, which is David's right-hand man in war, you know what I'm saying? He peeping the king. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you talk to Absalom, and you know he watching the king reaction every time he asks him that.
Right.
Right. So now what Joab know is, since he's a man of war, he know, look, having Absalom just run around like this is dangerous.
Mm.
It could be a possible rebellion.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This is how Joab thinking. So he like, look, it's better for them to be reconciled. You know what I'm saying? Than him to be out here running wild. Because everybody know how everybody is. That's what we have to take in consideration. They know Absalom's personality.
Mm-hmm.
Absalom know their personality. So this is what Joab thinking right here. We gotta reconcile them, right? And it's saying that David, his heart was comforted concerning Amnon, so you would think he would want to see Absalom. Nah, he don't.
Mm.
And what we gonna learn from this story right here is how deadly, you know what I'm saying, letting anger and bitterness fester. When you let a situation fester, when you let the beef brew. We gave the analogy in the part one. When you let beef sit out, guess what's gonna happen?
Mm.
It's gonna go bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we call our situations what? We beefing.
Yeah.
All right. So if y'all beefing and y'all don't take the initiative to reconcile, guess what happens? Resentment grows, bitterness grows, hatred grows. Right? And it affects the people, it starts to affect the people around y'all like this situation did. So Joab trying to play a peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
So he sent for a woman in the land of Tekoa, and what we gonna find out is this woman make up a story that's very similar to what David is going through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
All right. And come to the king, verse 3, and come to the king and speak on this matter unto him. And so Joab put the words in her mouth. And when the woman of Tekoa spake to the king, she fell on her face to the ground and did obeisance and said, Help, O king.
Mm.
And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and mine husband is dead. Boy, lies already. Gaslighting. All right. Verse 6. And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they strove together in the field, and there was none to fight them, but the one smote the other and slew him. And behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid, and they said, Deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him for the life of his brother whom he slew, and we will destroy the heir also. And so they shall quench my coal which is left, and shall not leave to my husband neither name nor remainder upon the earth.
All right, so she makes up this story that her 2 sons was fighting in the field, and there wasn't nobody there to break them up. And one killed the other one, and the whole family is coming against this son that killed the brother, right? And they coming to wipe the rest of that side of the family off the map. So she go to the king and tell this story, which was she was put up to this by Joab. Joab put her up to it. All right, so she go and tell this king this story to the king. Let's see what happens next. Go ahead, Hebrew.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
And the king said unto the woman, Go to thine house, and I will give charge concerning thee. And the woman of Tekoa said unto the king, My master, O king, the iniquity be on me and on my father's house, and the king and his throne be guiltless. And the king said, Whosoever said aught unto thee, bring him to me, and he shall not touch thee anymore. Then she said, I pray thee, let the king remember the Most High thy power, that thou wouldest not suffer the revenge of blood to destroy anymore, lest they destroy my son. And he said, As the Most High liveth, there shall not one hair of thy son fall to the earth.
All right, so we seeing King David extend mercy to this stranger who he don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but as a king of Israel, he has a duty not only to discipline his sons, keep his children safe, but also protect the nations. Now you got a son that's a loose cannon running around out here on the run. You got the whole nation in danger because of this. And you would show mercy to a stranger, but you wouldn't even reconcile with your own blood for the betterment of the nation. Here, and this is where we see flaws of David. Right? In one instance, he wasn't hard enough on his son. In this instance,
he too soft.
What I'm saying? Yeah. All right, so go ahead, Hebrew.
All right, verse 12.
Yeah.
Then the woman said, let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak one word unto my master the king. And he said, say on. The woman said, wherefore then hast thou thought such a thing against the people of Yah? For the king doeth speak this thing as one which is faulty, and that the king doeth not fetch home again is banished.
All right, she like, all right, so then why you not doing this for your own son? He's banished from you. Why you not doing this? Go ahead.
For we must needs die, and are as water spilt on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither doeth Yah respect any person, yet doeth he devise means that his banish be not expelled from him. Now, therefore, that I am come to speak of this thing unto my master the king, it is because the people have made me afraid. And thy handmaid said, I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaid out of the hand of the man that will destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of Yah. Then thine handmaid said, the word of my master the king shall now be comfortable. For as an angel of God, so is my master the king to discern good and bad. Therefore, the Most High Yah will be with thee. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, hide not from me, I pray thee, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, let my master the king now speak. And the king said, is not the hand of Joab with thee in all this?
So he like, look, let me ask you something. Joab put you up to this business.
Right.
Yeah, so the king already knew, probably from past conversations, some of the things that Joab had been asking him, you know. That'll just be like if me and my pops was into it. And what if he say, man, look, we throwing a little get together down here and so and so, and I'm like, man, is he gonna be there? And what if he like, man, nah, he ain't gonna be there. You know, I don't want no drama. He called my daddy. Man, you know, we have a little get together, man, down at the spot down there. Said, my daddy, is he gonna be there? And they like, man, nah, they ain't gonna be there. We get there, ain't nobody there but us. You know what I mean? What if he playing peacemaker around here?
Is what if he hand in all of this with thee and all?
Yeah. But that would kind of be what that's like right there when we reading, y'all. So let's get more into it. Go ahead, Hebrew. You got anything?
Nah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right. And the woman answered and said, as thy soul liveth, my master the king, none can turn to the right hand or to the left from aught that my master the king hath spoken. For thy servant Joab, he begged me, and he put all these words in the mouth of thine handmaid. To fetch about this form of speech hath thy servant Joab done this thing. And my master is wise according to the wisdom of an angel of Yah, to know all things that are in the earth, where everybody knew that the Most High was with them.
Yeah.
All right, verse 21. And the king said unto Joab, behold, now I have done this thing. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom again. And
David, like, man, this ain't Joab, man. Go get the boy, man. Bring him on in here, man. Dang.
Hey, you done hit a sore spot. Man, go and go get him.
Yeah, he like this dude, Joab.
Bro, you gotta go through all this. Go get him, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Hebrew.
Right. It said, go therefore and bring the young man Absalom again. Verse 22. And Joab fell to the ground on his face and bowed himself and thanked the king. And Joab said, today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, master, O king, and that the king hath fulfilled the request of his servant. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem.
All right, go ahead.
And the king said, let him turn to his own house and let him not see my face.
All right, so this is a half-ass reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is what I'm talking about. Y'all agree to sit down and people still holding up walls.
Yeah.
You see, yeah, bring him to Jerusalem, but I don't want to see his face, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see his face.
Mm.
And guess what? You are already dealing with a tyrant.
Mm.
So ain't nothing but anger and bitterness finna build up on his end.
Yeah, that's just like forgiving somebody, but you saying you don't want to hang around, you don't want to be with them anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That don't do nothing but damage the relationship.
Yeah.
So guess what? You know, if David should have never agreed, you know what I mean? He just succumbed to the pressure of the situation.
Mm. Mm.
And that's what a lot of us be doing. Like, do you want to work this out? And we just succumb to the pressure of the situation.
Right.
And we know we still angry, we still frustrated, but instead of saying, man, you know what, I need some time, I'm still angry, I'm still frustrated, still dealing with some things, trying to get some things together. We'll try to work the situation out, knowing we ain't ready to work it out yet.
Mm. Mm.
Wasting everybody's time involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get over that first before you agree to work something out, because you ain't doing nothing but hurting the situation further. Doing what you doing, harboring anger and resentment.
Mm.
All right, so let's keep reading.
All right. And so Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom, his pretty boy. From the sole of his feet even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. Well, he had not a one hair.
Nothing.
And when he pulled his head, for it was at every year's end that he pulled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he pulled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. Now, he must have some real long dreads.
Yeah, I believe that's like 5.5 pounds of hair.
Yeah, his hair probably was like Damian Marley. You know, he was sweeping the ground.
Yeah. So he had to get 5.5 pounds of hair chopped off yearly.
Yeah. Mm.
Dang.
Mm. All right. Verse 27. Unto Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of fair countenance. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face. Boy,
All right. So what you say, Hebrew?
I said he ain't seen the dad for 2 years.
Hey, a 3 on top of that 3.
5 years, yeah, it's 5 years.
All right, so look, we can imagine how much anger and bitterness been built up over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You see that over nobody not taking the initiative to be righteous and address the situation how it need to be addressed. 5 years go by. You got a tyrant on the run that you ignoring. Nation is at risk. Your other sons are at risk.
Mm-hmm.
You see, these things affect other people when we don't resolve conflict how they need to be resolved. Look at this situation, y'all. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Therefore, Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he sent again the second time, he would not come. Therefore, he said unto his servants, see, Joab's field is near mine, and he has barley there. Go and set it on fire. And Absalom's servants set the field on fire.
So to get his father's attention, he acts out.
Mm-hmm.
We see people do this in relationships all the time. They separate from their, spouse. Then they posting on Facebook that they on a date with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Little stuff like that. This terrible conflict resolution skills.
Thanks.
You willing to, put your integrity, your body on the line just to hurt somebody else. You go that, stoop that low. Or you will risk hurting yourself to hurt somebody else. Or you don't mind hurting yourself to hurt somebody else. Instead of sitting down and having and opening your mouth like an adult and telling and expressing how you feel and what you think about the situation. And the other person sitting down expressing how they feel and what they think about the situation and how it needs to be handled according to the scripture.
Well, that's dangerous, bro. You can destroy a person.
Yeah.
That's how you know that's devilish.
Yeah. You don't mind hurting yourself to hurt somebody else. You didn't let Satan, boy, dwell in your temple at that point. He has taken over. He is the driver.
Yeah.
So to get his father's attention, I ain't talked to this man in 5 years. I'm finna say Joab, his right hand man, barley on fire. That's gonna send a message. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom unto his house and said unto him, wherefore have thy servant set my field on fire? And Absalom answered Joab, behold, I sent unto thee, saying, come hither, that I may send thee to the king to say, wherefore am I come from Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore let me see the king's face. And if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me.
You see that? He think he justified for what he did. If there be any iniquity in me, what you mean?
We're about to be a dead man.
Gaslighting.
Yeah.
Trying to make you question the reality. What if it be any iniquity? It is iniquity in you.
Yeah.
You got to restore that.
Yeah.
According to the law, if a fire break out and catch your neighbor's barley.
Yeah. Look, and he just projected. He just did a projection. Yep. He set the field on fire. Joab was like, why you set my field on fire? Oh, because I said to you 2 days in a row, you ain't going.
Yeah.
Fields being set on fire? Like,
right. Exaggeration and a lie. Remember, that was one of the...
Yeah. Gaslighting.
Yep.
That's the first stage.
Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 33. So Joab came to the king and told him, and when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom.
Yeah, this is fake reconciliation
Right.
on Absalom's part and David's.
Mm.
Because you want me to tell you why David went off right here? He offered forgiveness without requiring repentance.
Repentance, yep.
And that only causes for a more greater sin down the line when you don't check it. When you say, oh, I forgive you, baby. And y'all don't have no talk about it. And then here go Absalom still harboring 5 years worth of bitterness. He fake bowing down. See, do you want honest conflict or dishonest harmony? Which one do you want? Because you see a lot of these brothers in different assemblies, different congregations. You see them on camera all the time together. Then the first time so they fall out, it looked like they ain't never been tight. That's dishonest harmony.
Shoot music video with brothers and everything.
Yeah. You would be surprised that people would rather avoid honest conflict and have dishonest harmony. You rather your marriage looks apart to the world than actually being apart. Right? You rather look like y'all together to the world, but when y'all get home, y'all don't even sleep in the same bed together at night. And guess what? We'll treat our guests that come in our house, boy, with Abraham-like hospitality. But soon as they leave, the person you supposed to lay down next to it at night, y'all can't even say 2 words to each other without arguing. Boy, that's a problem. That's a big problem. You treat the guests that come to your house better than the person you lay next to at night? That's crazy. Chapter 15. We're going to skip around in this one, though. It's 2 Samuel 15, read 1 through 6, Hebrew.
All right, 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared his chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate, and it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, of what city art thou? And he said, thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel.
All right, so the people will be coming up to get their matters judged by King David, right? But Absalom standing in the court before they get to him, and he like, hey, look, what y'all, you know what I'm saying, I judge. He doing this to win the hearts of the people over, because he's planning what Joab was afraid of, a rebellion. So even though he just bowed down before the king and the king just kissed him, he still had anger and bitterness and resentment too much built up. And he's still planning a rebellion. So we see the effects of letting the situation that's sick. We see the anger and the hatred they can build up. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. And Absalom said unto him, see, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man interested of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man with any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice. And it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this manner did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stirred the hearts of the men of Israel.
All right, skip down to read 10 through 16, Hebrew.
All right, verse 10. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, as soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, Then we shall say, Absalom in Hebron, and with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, boy, you got me, Ahithophel, the Gileadite, David's counselor, while he offered sacrifices. Oh, David's counselor, while he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom.
All right, so now he won the hearts of the men of the people of Israel, and now he gets David's top aide, top counselor. He gets him to be on his side, right? He said, and the conspiracy was strong at this point. So now you got David's top counselors. Whenever David need advice, this is who he go to, and he done flip sides on him, and he rolling with David's son, right? So now we see the parallel with David's familiar friend, and parallel with Yahushua, and we gonna see this man died the same way it say Judas died for betrayal, right? What verse was you at? That was verse 12.
Yeah, I'm at 13.
All right, go ahead.
And there came a messenger to David, saying, the hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee, for we shall not escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servants said unto the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my master the king shall appoint. King went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house.
All right, so remember these 10 women that he left. We're gonna revisit them later on in the story. All right, skip down to read verses 24 through 26. I know you're gonna enjoy this part.
Verse 24.
Yes, sir.
And lo, Zadok also, not Zodiac. And Zadok also,
Zodiac.
and Zadok or Zadik also, and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of Yah.
Yeah.
And they set down the ark of Yah, and Abiathar went up until all the people had done passing out of the city. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of Yah into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of Yah, he will bring me again and show me both it and his habitation. But if he does say, I have no delight in thee, behold, not, let him do to me as seemeth good unto him.
All right, so now at this point, David didn't realize, man, all this happening because of me. I deserve this. This chastisement for the Most High.
Yeah.
He like, man, look, it is what it is, man. If I die, I deserve it.
Facts.
If I die, I deserve it. All right, that's key. That was 26.
Yeah.
All right, so now we see that the Levites were loyal and they was ready to die for the king. All right, so he goes and he sends the Levites back with Absalom, and he sent them in there to infiltrate. You know what I'm saying? And he also sent a guy by the name of where is it in verse 34? This same chapter. It's Hushai, right? That's the second in command to Ahithophel. That was his other counselor, wise man counselor. He sent him back with Absalom as well to infiltrate. So he sends the Levites and Hushai with Absalom to infiltrate to get inside information and to thwart Ahithophel's advice. Right? So let's go to the next spot. let's go to 2 Samuel 16, but we gonna pick this up at verse 15, Hebrew.
All right.
Read 15 through 23.
2 Samuel 16, verse 15. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, Yah save the king, Yah save the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, Is this thy conscience, thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend?
You see that? You see how we talk about each other when we then let resentment and anger build up? He not even referring to David as his father.
Mm-hmm.
He like, this the kind of you started your little friend? Why you ain't go back with your little friends?
Mm. Mm.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
Mm. And Hushai said unto Absalom, Nay, but whom the Most High and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son, as I have served in thy father's presence? So will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, Give counsel among you what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong.
See that now? This is why we went into the segment about who you taking advice from during conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ahithophel, he's a traitor.
Yep.
He just gave Absalom advice that would make it now almost impossible to reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
Look, go into your father's concubine. You know why? Ahithophel has the most to lose in the situation, because if Absalom and David reconcile, then he's revealed as a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to watch. That's why we read about watching you take advice for, because he gonna stand on the other side to see what become of the situation.
Mm.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. For a minute.
Verse 22.
Verse 22. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house. And Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel.
See that? Went into 10 women in the sight of all Israel.
Mm.
That was a prophecy, but that was still worthy of death.
Mm.
That was prophecy for what David did. When he said, look, he said, if you did this thing in secret, I'm gonna punish you in the sight of all of Israel. He said, I'm gonna give your wives to your neighbor, and he gonna sleep with them in the sight of all of Israel.
Mm.
I believe that's 1 Samuel chapter 12, I believe. Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Verse 23. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of Yah. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom.
You see that? So that's how the people esteemed this brother's counsel. It was like hearing a word from Yah himself.
Mm.
That's how wise he was, right? Let's go to chapter right on into chapter 17. Let's read 1 through 23, Hebrew.
All right.
This is where it gets interesting.
Verse 1. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid, and all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. And I will bring back all the people unto thee, the man whom thou seekest, is as if all returned, so all the people shall be in peace. And the king and the same pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he said. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. For said Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be cast in their mouth, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field, and thy father is a man of war, and will not lie with the people. Verse 9, behold, he is hid now in some pit or in some other place. And it will come to pass when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that my father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee from Dan unto Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one, a plot. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and will draw it into the river, until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Most High hath appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Most High might bring evil upon Absalom.
You see that? So Hushai, he was like, look, let's just raise up a large army, and look, you can be on the front line to get him yourself. You know what I mean? He thwarted Ahithophel's advice.
Yeah.
Look, and this is why David sent them back with him for this very reason.
Yeah, so he can bring destruction upon Absalom. And look, Negro say the Most High don't create evil. Right here say that the Most High might bring evil upon Absalom.
Oh, we so do say that, don't it? So Hushai's advice appealed to Absalom's vanity anyway. He want to be big shot. He power hungry.
Right.
How about you get on the front lines? You get you a big army. You get on the front line to get them yourself. And look, to a Negro that's power hungry, he like, yeah, they do sound good. And I can be the one that take the king head off. And give me a name in Israel. That's how he thinking. Hey, but look, 5 years worth of not reconciling, look what all this led to.
And respect the person.
Facts. So we see the danger of harboring anger and resentment. This was the whole objective of part 2. This was the whole point we wanted to nail home. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
All right, verse 15.
Yeah.
Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed in Rogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench, and a
Wait. Yeah, boy. I tripped out earlier when I seen that wench. We just put an 8 there, wench.
Hey man, look, that's what I immediately thought when I read that.
Yeah.
Wank and a wank.
Hey. This our people, man.
Facts.
That's our people. And a witch, it just mean a maid servant or a slave girl.
Yeah.
That's good. That's the definitions you're gonna get used to look that up in the Concord. We, of course, we put our slang on it, man. It's a derogatory term.
All right. And a wench went and told him. And they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom. But they went both of them away quickly and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and spread ground corn thereon. And the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, where is Ahimaaz? And the woman said unto them, they be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass after they were departed that they came up out of the well and went and told King David and said unto David, arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan. By the morning light, there lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gave him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself, and died, and was buried in the sepulchre of his fathers.
All right, so we see, just like the Messiah had his own familiar friend betray him and hung himself, David was a type of the Messiah in this way as well. His familiar friend, one of his top counselors, was a traitor. And once he saw that it was over with, once he saw that his plan wasn't gonna work, and that Absalom plan rebellion was gonna come to nothing, he went and hung himself. He went and hung himself. So it's all starting to fall apart now. Let's skip down to chapter 18 in Hebrew. We just gonna read 1 through 8. Now, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Chapter 18. Let's do 1 through 16.
All right. Chapter 18, verse 1. It's getting heavy.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 18, verse 1. And David numbered the people that were with him and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab, and a third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. But the people answered, thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not care for us, neither if half of us die will they care for us. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore, now it is better that thou succor us out of the city. And the king said unto them, what seemeth you best? I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim.
All right, so David, he's still operating his feelings at the time. Look, at this point, Absalom is a complete threat to you and the whole nation of Israel.
Right.
Yet David, he's still talking about do no harm to the boy. Hey, poor conflict resolution skills. Take yourself and your feelings up out of it.
Yeah. Get that right today.
Yeah.
The Messiah gave instruction. Hey, before you present your prayer to the Most High, before you present your gift to the altar, hey, you better go and get that conflict right with your brother.
Facts. And this 5 years about to cost somebody their life. 5 years of harboring anger and resentment and half-hearted reconciliation. Look at what it leads to. And now look, and not only that, you got the whole nation at civil war. You got everybody who following David and everybody who following Absalom against each other.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hebrew.
All right. Verse 7. Where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David, and there was there a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men.
20,000 men that died behind
this. That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy. When nobody.
Look, all this is behind two people not willing to sit down and talk to each other.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind now.
Yeah.
20,000 bodies had to drop because two men didn't want to sit down and talk.
That's 20,000 people that ain't had nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah. Because two people didn't want to sit down and talk.
Civil war in Israel.
Wow. We conflict resolution according to the Bible.
All right, verse 8. For the battle was there scattered on the face of all the country, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. And Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth, and the mule that was under him went away. His hair got stuck in the tree, and he caught up in the tree.
Yeah.
He hanged. All right. And a certain man saw it and told Joab and said, behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak. And Joab said unto the man that told him, and behold, thou sawest him, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a burden.
Joab said, well, I would have broke you off and gave you a promotion.
Yeah. Hey, this some crazy stuff right here, man.
Bro, this crazy, ain't it?
This crazy stuff right
here. Hey, Israel get like this today, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have brothers backstabbing brothers, recording brothers' phone conversation. Man, all type of silliness.
Yeah. Facts. All right, where we at? Verse 12. Verse 12. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not put forth mine hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee, and Abishai, and Hittai, and Ittai, saying, beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise, I should have wrought falsehood against mine own life. For there is no matter hid from the king, and thou thyself wouldst have set thyself against me. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. And 10 young men that bare Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. And Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Joab held back the people.
Boy, that's a messy situation, dog. Your right hand man take your son out. How are you supposed to feel about that? Look, after you gave him the command not to, but check this out. Your son was a threat to you and the whole nation of Israel.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a crazy situation when you sit back and analyze everything. All right, so let's skip down to verse 28. Read 28 to 33.
Skip down to 28. Verse 28. My bad. All right. And Ahimaaz called and said unto the king, all is well. And he fell down to the earth upon his face before the king and said, blessed be the Most High thy power, which hath delivered up the men that lift up their hand against my master the king. And the king said, is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, when Joab sent his servant and me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what it was. And the king said unto him, turn aside and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, Cushai came, and Cushai said, tidings, my master the king, for the Most High hath avenged thee this day all of them that rose up against thee. And the king said unto Cushai, is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushai answered, the enemies of my master the king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as the young man, it be as that young man is. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would Yah I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son.
Chapter 19, 1 through 8, this is the last spot. Now look what Joab about to say. He about to rebuke David.
All right, verse 1, chapter 19. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people, for the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people gave them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came into the house to the king and said, thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, the lives of thy sons and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy people. And that thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends? For thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived, and all we have died this day, then it had pleased thee well.
You see that? Joab rebuked David. He like, look, man, you saved us. We just saved your life.
And you crying over the enemy.
And yeah, you crying over the enemy. Let's see if David got personal, got in his feelings even more. Man, get the fuck out of here, Joab. Leave me alone, bro. Let's see if he did any of that. Go ahead.
Or if he projected.
Yeah.
Man, you did that. I ain't tell you to do that.
Right.
But you ain't saw the situation. You ain't resolved the conflict.
Right. You didn't rebuke Absalom.
Right. All right, verse 7. Now therefore arise, go forth, and speak comfortably unto thy servants. For I swear by the Most High, if thou go not forth, there will not tarry one with thee this night. And that will be worse unto thee than all the evil that befell thee from thy youth unto now. Ooh. Then the king rose and sat at the gate, and they told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king doth sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent.
So he couldn't do nothing but take that rebuke Joab told him.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing but facts.
Yeah.
But that's the series, y'all. Conflict resolution skills according to the Bible. I hope somebody learns something from this. I hope somebody can take something from this, you know what I'm saying, apply it. You know, we need to leave out the projecting, the gaslighting, you know what I'm saying, the deflection, the not taking accountability, the handling the situation how we want to handle it, the avoiding the conflict altogether. We need to leave all that out. That's terrible conflict resolution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments on how to deal with our neighbor. That's what we should be going by. And that's all I got, Hebrew.
Hallelujah. Hey, very, very edifying lesson. Very, very edifying. Bro. Hey, we got to love our people like we love ourselves.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want nobody to hold no grudge against you. So don't go full holding no grudge against nobody else. You wouldn't want somebody you when you trying to talk to them. So don't do the same thing. You know what I mean? It don't be playing patty cake, tit for tat. Like we ain't eye for eye. You know, we're doing it. We getting the situation right. We getting the matter right. We getting it in order so that when our king come, you know what I mean? It won't be no spots and no blemishes in the assembly, in the Bible. You know what I mean? He looking for a spot-free, wrinkle-free, blemish-free church assembly. You know what I mean? So, hey, get that right, man. Go back and watch this list. If you came in on the short end, go back and watch part 1, watch part 2. Write them scripts down, study them, and read the whole chapters to these stories. You know what I mean? And like we said in the beginning, go over the story of Joseph, how he resolved that conflict between him and his brothers. You know what I mean?
Facts. Hey, you know what? Hold on, bro. I gotta read a little bit of this. This Testament of Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read just a little bit of it. This Testament of Joseph, chapter. I'm picking up at verse. Picking up at verse 17. It's chapter 17.
All right.
It's the Testament of Joseph, chapter 17. And it says, "So you see, my children, how many things I endured in order not to bring my brothers into disgrace. You therefore love one another and be patient, and in patient endurance conceal one another's shortcomings. Yah is delighted by harmony amongst brothers, and by intention of a kind heart, and takes pleasure in goodness. When my brothers came to Egypt, they learned that I had returned their money to them, that I did not scorn them, and that I sought to console them. After the death of Jacob, my father, I loved them beyond measure. And everything he had wanted for them, I did abundantly in their behalf. I did not permit them to be troubled by the slightest matter. And everything I had under my control, I gave to them. Their sons were mine, and mine were as their servants. Their life was as my life, and every pain of theirs was my pain. Every ailment of theirs was my sickness. Their wish was my wish. I did not exalt myself above them arrogantly because of my worldly position of glory, but I was among them as one of the least. If you live according with the Lord's commands, Yah will exalt you with good things forever. If anyone wishes to do harm to you, you should pray for him, along with doing good. He will be rescued by Yahweh from every evil.
From every evil. Hallelujah.
Every evil.
Oh, we. Look, I'm gonna read a little bit of the Testament of Benjamin, starting at chapter 7.
Okay.
All right. It says, so I tell you, my children, flee from the evil of Belial or Belial, because he offers a sword to those who obey him. And the sword is the mother of the 7 evils. It receives them through Belial. The first is moral corruption. The second is destruction. The third is oppression. The fourth is captivity. The fifth is want. The sixth is turmoil. The seventh is desolation. It is for this reason that Cain was handed over by Yah for 7 punishments. For in every 100th year of the Most High brought him. For in every 100 years, the Most High brought upon him one plague. When he was 200 years old, suffering began, and in his 900th year, he was deprived of life. For he was condemned on account of Abel, his brother, as a result of all his evil deeds. But Lamech was condemned 70 times 7 until eternity. Those who are like Cain in moral corruption and hatred of brother shall be punished with a similar judgment. But you, my children, run from evil, corruption, and hatred of brothers. Cling to goodness and love. For the person with a mind that is pure with love does not look at a woman for the purpose of having sexual relations, has no pollution in his heart, because upon him is resting the spirit of Yah. For just as the sun is unpolluted, though it touches dung and slime, it dries up both and dries off the bad odor, so also the pure mind, though involved with the corruptions of earth, edifies instead and is not itself corrupted.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Flee from their evil spirit, man. Hatred of your brother, not wanting to reconcile. That's an evil spirit. That's an evil spirit.
Fact. That's a fact, man.
Cause check it out, we would be doomed. We would be doomed if the Most High held a grudge against us.
Yep.
All the time, many times we done wronged him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We gotta do better as a people. We gotta understand, you know what I'm saying, that we all working with untreated traumas. I don't care. Look, if you an Israelite that came over here on ships, you dealing with some sort of trauma, whether you recognize it or not. You know what I'm saying? The best thing to do is to find out, you know what I'm saying, why you react in certain situations the way you do.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Identify it and then put it before the Most High. Most High, this bitterness. You know what I'm saying? I want to put this before you and then look fast And then while you fasting, call that spirit out and plead and rebuke it. And cover yourself with the blood of Hamashiach. That's how we fight these things.
Yes, sir.
But that's all I got, man. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Shabbat. I don't know who up tomorrow. Who up tomorrow, you know?
I don't know. Let me check, see if I got let me check, see.
All right. We need them elders on here to do them announcements and all that.
Hey, you know, they probably over there soft showing. All right, who up tomorrow? What's today? Supposed to be Water P, Water, and Mike.
Okay.
And Water P and Mike. I don't know how this gonna turn out.
Nah, he say Water P just said M9 in charge, yeah.
They live from Florida, huh?
Yeah. Look, we going
live from the beach house.
From the shores, the sunny beaches in Florida.
Hallelujah. All praise, man. You're there, right? You ain't got nothing else.
I keep gonna chop it up. I smoke that with me.
All right.
Bye, Hebrew.
Likewise, Hebrew. Hey,
right.
Hey, family, may the Most High keep y'all and lead y'all in all truth and righteousness. Enjoy y'all Shabbat, and may the be with y'all. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right.